Hi, I'm Maeve Rustin with the Los Angeles Times, and we are here in the LA Times Test Kitchen with Romney, who has her new cookbook out, The Romney Family Table. And you're already on the bestseller list at Amazon and also now the New York Times. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, as you wrote this book this year, obviously you and Governor Romney are involved in a lot of different charities, but you decided to dedicate the proceeds to the Center for Neurologic Diseases at Brigham and Women's. Talk a little bit about that decision and what kind of research they're doing there that intrigued you.
Well, Dr. Weiner, my doctor, that is one of the top research doctors in neurological disorders, specifically studying multiple sclerosis. Every time I would have my yearly checkup with him, we'd talk about, okay, what's happening, and he would always know, of course, the cutting edge of what isn't even being written about yet.
And you were diagnosed in 98?
I was diagnosed in 98, and he was my doctor from 1999 on. So he, and I would just talk about it, and I'd always say, if I were First Lady, we are really going to make a big push to try to push the research over to a new level. And when we lost, I met with him again, and I'm like, we could have done something wonderful together, but let's still do this something together. And this just kind of evolved, and we are going forward with helping to fund and research a new center of neurological research at the Brigham and Women's Hospital associated with Harvard Medical School, with Mass General, a bunch of the hospitals.
And it's not just MS research, right? They're looking at, a vaccine for Alzheimer's, right?
That's the thing that is so exciting to me, is he discovered in his research that there's a lot of similarities between diseases, as you might imagine, if they're neurological. And he is of the belief that they're within reach of having a vaccine for Alzheimer's. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, we've got to push this forward. And I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about how we're going to make it a collaborative effort. That he is just come back from Russia and from Europe, and they're doing a lot of research there as well, because the prevalence of MS is much higher in the northern climates and the colder climates. And so this is going to be fun to be involved with something that we believe is going to make a huge difference in many people's lives.
You talked a little bit about initially thinking you were going to put together a lot of different recipes, and then you just kind of started writing, right?
Well, it just evolved. It was going to be a cookbook, just a cookbook. Now it's much more than a cookbook. It's a reflection of family life and bringing people to the table and what food means, and it's all, that we celebrate together. We have conversations over food. And as I look at the different recipes, it was like, I remember what it felt like to taste my grandmother's cookies when they were warm. I remember her hands with my hands teaching me how to roll dough, and the feelings that I had in my mother's kitchen of comfort and love and safety and goodness and cherished, and it was all those good things that happened in, as we know, the heart of the home, the kitchen.
You met a lot of women on the campaign trail, last year, who were working two jobs or single moms. Were you thinking about any of those stories as you selected, what recipes to put in here? Or
well, I wanted this to be easy and accessible for everyone, even someone that has very little time, someone that's working, someone that's single, a single mom. It's family friendly, home cooking, not complicated. This honestly is how...
And we should mention you're a part-time Californian.
I am part-time Californian, but this is how I eat. And this is, if I make a dinner, a lot of these foods will be included, because I always have a lot of vegetables. If I'm cooking, there's probably going to be 3 vegetable sides and something like this. And this might be dessert, or it might be a side. But I love fresh fruits. And so what we're going to throw together, mango, grapefruit,
Pink grapefruit.
So
we're a little early for citrus season in California, but we're getting there.
You can almost always find it. Some oranges, and looks like we have
some
clementines in there. And then we're going to add some pomegranate. But what I want to demonstrate is, because pomegranate you can always find in California, is how to peel a grapefruit, because I often just, on the simple side, we also add fresh mint. That is the finishing touch.
Have you actually been gardening now that you have a little more time?
I am never in one spot long enough to have a garden. But
Right.
my daughter-in-law Mary and my other daughter-in-law Lori have gardens, and so we always love fresh mint. I mean, look how beautiful that is. I mean, that is, I don't know if you can see, but
Yeah.
does that look so good? And it really gets juicy. And at the end, after everyone's finished dishing everything up and there's leftovers, you will find me drinking the rest of it because
Right.
I love the juice that this makes, because that'll be a lot of wonderful juice that comes from that.
Right.
So I'm going to teach you all, and I don't know how long this is going to take for me to peel this, but how to get delicious grapefruit. It makes the world of difference not to have the pith,
That white part.
the white
that's-
part,
yeah.
and the membrane, it is bitter. And so to make a delicious salad, you don't want any of the membrane or the pith. And so this is just so easy. You get the knife, go under there, but that's how you do it. The other trick, for all of you that are always being covered with pomegranate juice, when you try to, you get those
Yeah.
delicious, wonderful things in there, is to go underwater. And that way, it's not spraying all over you.
All over your clothes and your
all over you.
aprons
And then you just, under the water, just peel them, and then you strain it.
Well, thank you so much
Thanks,
for coming
Nate.
in today. I really appreciate it. And I think Ann Romney's cookbook is pretty much everywhere. So thank you so much for joining us in the test kitchen, and we'll see you soon.